Welcome back to another goniometer video. We're going to be measuring the range of motion for the shoulder. And for Travis, thank you for being my patient first off. And for this motion, we're going to be testing abduction for this first measurement. And so the fulcrum is going to be lining up on the anterior portion of his acromion. And then the proximal arm or stationary arm here is just going to be parallel with the sternum. And then this is just going to follow his humerus here. So Travis, if you want to abduct for me. Good. Perfect. Dang. So that looks like he is past 180. So he's at 181 degrees active. And then I'm just going to give him a little bit more push, which he's going to get to 185. And so that is the measurement for abduction. Next, we're going to be diving into flexion here. So the fulcrum is going to be lining up on his greater tubercle. And then this proximal or stationary arm is going to be bisecting his humerus here or going to that lateral epicondyle. And Travis, can I have you go ahead and flex your arm for me? Oh, and excuse me, I actually told you wrong. So this stationary arm is going to be bisecting his torso and is going to be parallel with his sternum again. And then this is just going to go back like that. And so he's sitting at about 165 for that active. And then I'm just going to push a little bit more down just to see if you can get any more. And so he's at about 169 with passive. All right, and then the next motion we're going to be testing is going to be external rotation and internal rotation. And so for this one, I'm just going to be placing a towel underneath his elbow here just to make sure that, oh, can I have you scoot over to the left a little bit? Awesome, thank you. So just to make sure that everything is lined up in parallel here. And then, does that feel good for you, Travis? Perfect. And so the fulcrum is going to be lining up with his olecranon process here. And the proximal arm is just going to be staying down like that. And so for this first one, we're going to be doing internal rotation. So for internal rotation, excuse me, I'm going to be switching my position here. So I'm going to have the proximal arm point down. The distal arm is going to be going towards the styloid process here. And so then also I'm going to be feeling his shoulder here to make sure that it doesn't lift up off the ground when he goes to internally rotate. So Travis, just make sure everything's lined up here correctly. All right, Travis, can you go ahead and internally rotate for me? All right, so that's where about his shoulder kind of pops out there, letting me know this is where we're going to stop and take the measurement. I'm just going to make sure everything's aligned again here. And so he's sitting at about 38 degrees active. And then I'm just going to push down a little bit more just to make sure. All right. And just kind of adjust this again here really quick. And so he's sitting at about 47 degrees passive. All right. And then for external rotation, I'm not going to be placing my hand here because it doesn't matter too much. It's not going to affect his shoulder rolling backwards. And so I'm going to set it up on the olecranon process again here. And then Travis going to have you externally rotate. Perfect. So that goes all the way down. He's almost to 90 here in active. So he's at about 88 degrees active. And I'm just going to give him a little bit of a push to get that passive here. And then I'm going to fix my proximal arm. So he's at about 90 degrees with passive here. Perfect. And then I'm just going to set him back up so he's in a good position. And so that's how you do the goniometric measurements for abduction, flexion, internal rotation, and external rotation.